This was my favorite movie as a child, and definitely what got me hooked on musicals. It didn't feel like a movie. It didn't feel like a fictional story. It felt real. It felt like I was watching a historical docu. It felt like watching history live in Technicolor. Whenever SABC One would bless us with this gem, I'd be in front of the TV, and each time I watched it, it was like I saw it for the first time. I could sit here and lie to you about the dreams I've had of being a Sarafina, but I won't. I wanted to be just like her. Strong, resilient, confident, brave, honest, authentic, and vulnerable. Now, of course, I didn't have this vocabulary back then, but what I knew is I too wanted to be Isteding and Mhlongo, the one the world revolved around. One of the first things the Queen of Soweto does is pray to uMandela, something that she will do throughout the film in varying degrees. When she said, "Come on, Nelson, why can't I be a star?" What does a star do? Nothing. Stars don't do, they just be.
Stars just be.
Sarafina, take one. Action!
Oh! That resonated with me. Still to this day, it resonates with me as an adult. Stars don't do, they just be. She's talking to me. Stars don't do, they just be. There's no need for calculated steps, just be. There's no need to watch endless 2-minute motivational videos so that you can do that thing you want to do. Just be. There's no need to fake it until you make it. Just be. Stars don't do, they just be. That was a message for me. Sarafina was a matriculant with aspirations to be a star, win an Oscar and go to Hollywood. The very first musical number basically introduces her as our protagonist. Then, as if commanded by Satan himself, white men came in military tanks to steal their joy. This is a common theme throughout the film, and I don't know what else you expect from a film that was inspired by and dedicated to the children that resisted the apartheid government's slave education school policies. What makes musicals so great is that we're watching intricately staged spectacles that draw us into a world that's overly dramatic. One moment they're walking down the streets, the next they're breaking out in song and dance. Oh, the drama! The music in Sarafina is iconic. In fact, I would go so far as to say that there is no other soundtrack in this country that is as memorable and as ingrained in our collective memory as Sarafina's. It is one of the greatest musicals to be produced on this continent. I'm not here to prove it to you, and I really don't expect an argument with this statement. Many musicals are exclusively about the music, but Sarafina has great acting in it, and the pacing isn't slow or boring at all. One of the complaints that people have with musicals is that it is nearly impossible to discern for oneself any kind of emotional arc for the characters because they tell you or shout it at you or sing it at you loudly. I will say that the only character the writers have taken extensive time to develop is Istering. She goes through the most transformation, aka character arc, in this musical. The others, not so much. When we meet Sarafina, she's a girl with very clear values. It's made obvious by how she treats those around her and what she finds admirable. She doesn't go on a date with Crocodile because of her values. Her values dictate how she responded when she found Miss Masombuga's weapon by way of community of property after discovering that guitar was Constable Sabela's informant. The only time Sarafina was involved in anything that conflicted with her morals was the necklacing of Constable Sabela, the main antagonist. He suffered a violent death at the hands of an angry mob, and I'm not going to say it wasn't justified or that I wouldn't be part of that mob, but it is a terrible way to go. As Constable Sabela was burning, she didn't try to stop it. She sort of just went on with her life after that. I know it sounds like I'm making light of this type of mob justice that abantu bamnyama have been forced to become accustomed to, but I'm not. Winnie Mandela is quoted as saying that in an effort to fight back, we have no guns, we only have stone, boxes of matches, and petrol. Together, hand in hand, with our boxes of matches and our necklace, we shall liberate this country. Violence, whether we like it or not, is a necessary tool for liberation. And in this case, these kids were just trying to free themselves of oppression.
Your only chance, if you don't want education, do not come to school.
At its core, Sarafina is a gift that keeps on giving. There's a great score, there's action, drama, a redemption arc, and it highlights historical events. And it's disappointing to say, but who would have thought that today in Nelson Mandela's Rainbow Nation, there would still be students struggling to access education?
Everyone laughing and singing. I like that.
When are we going from a luta continua to a luta feita?